Hey guys, this is Clint, and there is a pretty big update about the Vic Mignogna, I hope I said that right, situation, and it involves a GoFundMe. Now, before we get into the details of this, I just want to remind you that I am writing a comic book called Downcast, and, I feel like an outcast from the comic book industry because of Comicsgate, and I'm seeing that the world of anime is starting to go through the same kinds of issues that comics have gone through, which is very, very extreme far-left social justice terrorists have decided to basically make all the rules and take over a hobby. So if you're interested in this comic book, it's going to be politics-free and just a lot of fun. You can join my mailing list in the description below. All right, so Vic has got a lot of legal troubles coming up his way, and they get more complicated. So Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, he's got a really fantastic YouTube channel. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it before, but he likes to explain legal matters, especially those that evolve around, I guess, geek culture or pop culture. I'd say pop culture. So at the time I'm recording this, and I am pre-recording it, is the 19th today, and today's the day it came up. I suspect by the time I post this video, which will be the 20th, this number will be higher, but so far there's been 173 people that have raised, and it's only been 3 hours. They have raised a total of $5,185. I suspect that number will grow very quickly. The goal looks like it's 100,000, so this is no joke. If I'm comparing this to, let's see, Richard C. Meyer, his legal fund, actually this was not a defense fund, but it was for to sue Mark Wade. It was for, I think, 75,000, and he way surpassed that. He's over 100K. I see no reason for this to go any differently. I think that there's going to be a lot of people interested in raising money for Vic because of the situation that he is in. Now, is Vic probably a little bit too hands-on? In my opinion, yeah. I mean, I don't even like to hug my mother. But that's okay. People are all different all across the spectrum of touchy-feely. Now, the allegations that are against him are those of sexual misconduct, which that can get really bad. That's more than just being, a little too many hugs, that kind of stuff. The worst thing I think I've seen him do is a kiss on the cheek of a fan for a photo. Now, the question is that a reason to have your career ended? That's the question. So these Twitter rules and, Me Too movement can, I don't know, like initially it did a good thing getting Harvey Weinstein exposed for a lot of the actual things that he did, and there's a lot of evidence for those things. The problem is when it gets taken so far where there's not evidence, and people basically their lives destroyed without any due process whatsoever. And mobs of people on the internet are far too used to having that kind of power. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot of legal actions like this because it's necessary, really, honestly. If somebody's being sued, or if somebody's has their whole livelihood taken away over something that is unjust, there should be legal action taken. There should be legal precedents. So Bounding Into Comics has a nice article about it, and they pulled some quotes from Nick Rekieta. Now, I'll tell you, I was on Comic Artist Pro Secrets with Ethan Van Sciver, and this was just, was it Monday? I think it was Monday, President's Day. Nick Rekieta was on as well, and he did announce that he had maybe some important information that was going to be coming out. I believe that this is that important information that he started a GoFundMe. Okay, so legal defense, but also legal offense, I guess. I'm not exactly a lawyer, but from here it sounds like he says, there are many possible defendants in different jurisdictions, from boring bloggers to multi-million, even multi-billion-dollar corporations. It takes an agile and experienced, read that as not cheap, legal team to coordinate this kind of strategy. So there is a possibility that he would be suing potential individuals or corporations. So this isn't just like to defend himself. This is to go on the offensive and to sue, I guess, where he legally can. Now, don't be confused. Nick Rekieta is not going to represent Vic. He will not be the lawyer. He says, I am not representing Vic in legal capacity, but I am aware of the team who is and will coordinate this fund to pay for Vic's legal fees. Litigation costs are highly dependent on the actions of your opponents. So I'm hoping to raise enough to account for that. We will announce the disposition of any extra funds candidly and provide updates on the usage of funds to the extent that such information can be made public. Okay, so why Nick Rekieta? Why did he set up this legal defense fund? Well, he says, Vic, whether you've supported Vic for years or recently found out about his situation, you'd know he'd never ask for this. And I'm saying asking for the money. That's why I'm doing this. And he's not involved. He's thankful for prayers and for support, but in my professional capacity as an attorney, I know this comes with a significant financial cost, which is certainly true. And this is perhaps the best part here, the best point. It says, but it's time to fight back. Brigades of pseudo-anonymous keyboard warriors cannot be allowed to defame and destroy decades of goodwill on rumor and unverifiable allegations. Companies cannot rely on non-credible accusations and devastate a career for virtue points. Love that. Now, I know some people might be thinking, well, this is going too far. Don't people have freedom of speech? Hasn't everybody done something legally? No, I'm no lawyer, but I do know that there are, in this situation, damages, right? Because he had jobs. He was getting money. He was counting on a paycheck, and those paychecks stopped because of something people said. Now, from my understanding, if this is going the libel route, there's a lot of important factors that you'd have to meet in order for it to actually be something that's that he could win. Now, I actually have a positive lookout on the legal system. I think that, if they take this to court, they bring forth evidence, and if they're very thorough, then the right and correct thing is going to happen. For the most part, I think that the legal system works. At least it's certainly better than none of this going to the legal system and having, places like Twitter being our legal system. So I'm really interested to see how this story goes forward and unfolds. I hope that the truth comes out, and that honestly, I hope that there are better ways for things like this to happen, for accusations to come out, and due process to happen. But I'd love to hear all of your comments on this below. In fact, I'm going to leave a link to the GoFundMe if you're interested in adding funds to the legal defense fund there. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, you get the idea, and I'll see you next time.